I have a question for you. Do you truly own something? Your house, your car, your phone, even your body? What if I told you that we don't truly own anything? Not even our lives. We're just safekeepers. All our possessions are temporary. History is telling us the same, and even in modern times we can find great examples. Why is the ownership an illusion? It's a powerful idea that questions how we perceive life. And at the end of the video, you will know exactly why. So let's start with a history lesson. When Alexander the Great was dying, he gave 3 unusual burial requests. 1. That physicians carry his coffin, to symbolize that doctors can't ultimately prevent death. 2. That his gold and jewels would be scattered along the path to his grave, to indicate all material riches are left behind. And 3. That his hands hang out of the coffin for everyone to see, to show that even the greatest conqueror in the history leaves this life empty-handed. We can't take anything material with us to our next adventures. And yet we live as if everything belongs to us. We chase, we collect, we protect, we cling, always afraid to lose what we hold dear. But if we're honest, nothing ever really stays with us. Not the things, not the people, not even the moments. They pass through us like wind through open hands. Let's flip the coin to a brighter note and use another story from our hero's life. Alexander the Great once came to a philosopher named Diogenes while he was sunbathing. He said to him, "I am the most powerful man on earth. What can I do for you?" "Step aside, man, you're blocking my sunlight." And that's all he wanted. Although there is a powerful person standing in front of him who would literally fulfill him any wish, he chooses the sunlight. Why? Because the true power comes from needing nothing. He had everything he ever wanted. He was happy, and no gold could buy that for him. Now we fast forward to today. We think we own our cars and houses, but gamers believe they own digital swords and virtual outfits. They spend real money on items for their in-game avatar. But do they really own them? Or is it just an illusion? It's easy for us to label virtual items as not real. But how is that different to us clinging to material things we'll eventually leave behind? Just because players can't physically touch their digital gear doesn't make it any less real than our so-called physical possessions. Maybe that the sensation of touch itself is just another form of virtual programming. Shift your perspective one dimension higher, and suddenly what we call real life starts to look a lot like a game too. And maybe we are avatars of our soul. From the viewpoint of higher realms, let's say from heaven or the space between lives, our physical world might seem no more permanent than a video game. You use what you need while you're here, and when the game's over, you log out. And everything you owned, left behind. Like switching off the screen and moving on to something else. So either it's physical or virtual, it's all unnecessary attachment which binds us to the fear of loss. It's simply a question of our beliefs and perspectives, and these are not set in stone. Instead, we can choose gratitude for all that was and is given to us by the divine power. We can accept that nothing truly belongs to us, not in a sad way, but in a freeing way. Because when we realize that nothing is ours to keep, that also means there's nothing for us to lose. Suddenly it feels much lighter when you look at it from this perspective. Within that space, peace and joy arise naturally. Everything you need will come into your life because you released the struggle of holding. What belongs to you will find you, and it will make you happy. It can't happen otherwise. With no pressure inside you, a wide divine channel opens and abundance starts flowing into your life. Because there is no friction, as you don't insist anymore. You freed yourself. You finally let the universe do its own job. Okay, here's another example. I'm not religious, but according to Bible Matthew 6:20, Jesus said, "Lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, not on earth." I totally agree with this because worldly physical wealth is useless in terms of eternal life. It might be a pleasant addition to our well-being as we fulfill our purpose here, but it shouldn't replace our true life goal, because in the end, it's a trap! There is a really great movie I recommend, and it's not Star Wars. It's a very powerful movie, more like a philosophical documentary about meaning of life. It's called Waking Life by Richard Linklater. I cannot put any footage here, but if you are interested, it can be easily found on archive.org for free. So check it out if you want. In one of the opening scenes, there is a guy who's driving a boat on wheels. And among other things, he says this: "The idea is to remain in a state of constant departure while always arriving." My explanation, which took me a while, is that we should never attach. Always be willing to leave behind what has to go and being open to new adventures. Simply accepting the present moment as it comes without holding on to. He also adds saves on introductions and goodbyes. So I invite you to pause and ask yourself, what are you holding on to most that is really not yours? Isn't choosing fulfilling experiences instead a better way? Because that is the only thing we take from this life to next ones. Our emotional briefcase full of the wildest experiences. So how about we choose the great ones without anything material to worry about? Because life will happen anyway. We don't need to drop all at once, but we should open to this as a possibility, because that's where our freedom is awaiting us. I will leave you with 2 powerful affirmations to reflect on. Subscribe if you like them or you want to know more about practical wisdom like this. And hey, why not? You can write your experience into the comment section too. I release the need to own as I welcome the freedom of letting go. Nothing is truly mine, and that is perfectly okay. Suddenly